The following report documents the first known timeline in which every human being, all at once, lost the ability to sleep. This timeline survived for 19 days. Then it collapsed. Case file SIM 1038. Classification Omega. Status contained. It began quietly. On the first night, people assumed it was stress, a bad week, too much screen time, too much coffee. So they drank more coffee. By morning, sales had tripled. By the second day, they had run out. Doctors prescribed the strongest medication they had: sleeping pills, sedatives, anesthetics strong enough to drop a grown man in seconds. Nothing worked. Not for the sick, not for the elderly, not for newborn babies who simply lay awake, silent, staring at the ceiling. Not even the animals could sleep. And then the scientists found something impossible. The human brain was still producing melatonin. The body was still releasing it, on schedule, exactly as it always had. Every biological signal was telling the body to shut down. The body was trying to sleep. Something was stopping it. The broadcast said everything was under control. They always do. Experts appeared on the news, calm and smiling, and told everyone this was temporary. And people believed it, because online it had already become a joke. Imagine all the extra time we'll have. Nobody realised what was coming. For the first few days, something strange happened. Civilization didn't fall apart. It thrived. The factories never stopped. The machines ran through the night and into the next day, and the next. Hospitals operated for 24 hours straight, with no shift changes, no handovers, no gaps. Universities ran around the clock. Research that should have taken years was finished in weeks. Global output began to rise, faster than it ever had in recorded history, and people started asking a dangerous question. Did we ever actually need sleep? Governments began discussing it openly, abolishing the weekend, extending the working day, a new era of human productivity, unlimited, unstoppable, awake. For a few short days, the world celebrated. Then on the fourth day, the cracks appeared. People began forgetting conversations they had just finished. Names, faces, entire afternoons, gone. On the fifth day, the hallucination started. At first it was dismissed. Sleep deprivation does strange things to the mind. Everyone knew that. But this was different, because people were not seeing different things. They were all seeing the same thing. A stranger, standing in the corner of the room, in the reflection of a window, at the far end of an empty street, always standing, never moving, always watching. Psychologists called it mass sleep deprivation psychosis, a trick of the exhausted mind, except the descriptions matched. Exactly. The same figure, the same posture, the same wrong patient stillness, described by children, described by strangers who had never met, described word for word by people living on opposite sides of the planet. They were all seeing the same figure, and it was getting closer. But the second week, the neuroscientists uncovered something that they refused, at first, to publish. The brain scans showed it clearly. Normally, when a human being falls asleep, consciousness does something we had never understood. For a few hours each night, it quietly disconnects. It lets go of physical reality. We had always assumed sleep was rest. It wasn't. It was a door closing. Every night, for a few hours, we vanished. We became invisible, not to each other, to something else. And now, without sleep, that door never closed. The connection never broke. For 19 days, every human being on Earth was permanently visible to something that is only ever supposed to catch a glimpse of us. The shadow figures were not entering our world. We had it backwards. We were entering theirs. On the 19th day, it ended. The figures disappeared. All of them. At once, and people could finally sleep. Across the world, exhausted and grateful, humanity closed its eyes for the first time in almost 3 weeks. And that night, everyone slept. But nobody woke up. Not because they died. Their hearts kept beating. Their lungs kept breathing. But there was no one left inside. Without sleep, the door had stayed open too long. And when it finally closed, it closed on the wrong side. Humanity had crossed completely into the other reality and left everything else behind. The earth went silent. The cities stayed lit. The cars sat idling in the streets. The screens kept glowing, showing news to no one. And the cameras kept recording. Every human being was gone. The archive lists this timeline as unrecoverable. Case file SIM 1038. That's not what happened. Case file SIM 1038. Closed.